In this video, we'll further our discussion by talking about variables. A variable is defined as a label that can be used to hold a value. A variable holds one value in memory that can be retrieved many times. For example, inside of Jupyter Notebooks, we'll create a variable labeled age is equal to a value of 25. If you output this variable, this value, and run it, indeed it gives us 25. The equal sign is an assignment operator that assigns the value on the right to the name on the left. For the purpose of concision, Python also lets us assign multiple values to multiple variable names. For example, what you would do in another language is write age is equal to 25, name is equal to Jane, and gender is equal to female. With Python, you can use the comma operator to assign all three variables at once. That is, I can write age, name, and gender is equal to, make sure everything is in the proper order with respect to your variable names, such that age will be 25, name will be Jane, and gender female. Only use this notation with closely related variables. For example, all the variables here represent the characteristics of a person. You could also do this with dimensions like width and height, as they both represent the dimensions of some shape, most likely a rectangle. Try to keep your variable names as descriptive as possible, to ensure that you're always aware of what's going on in your code. For instance, you can never have any space in between. If I'm to assign blood type is equal to AB, I can't actually do that. If I try to run it, it should give me an error. In such a case, you would want to use an underscore to separate your two words, like so. Blood type is equal to AB, and this should run just fine. Also, only use letters and numbers in your variable names. Don't use symbols like $sign or modulus. As a convention, all variable names should be lowercase and have an underscore in between. Do not capitalize anything as you would in camel case. Always use the snake case, which connects all words with underscores. Finally, there are certain keywords in Python that you cannot use as variable names. They are reserved since they carry very specific purposes in Python. You'll learn more about them throughout the course, but words like return, while, or import are reserved words. You'll learn more about them as you progress through the crash course. One thing to also note about Pythonic variables is that you can assign them a new value. Storing a new value to a specific variable erases the old one. For example, let's assume that 5 years later, Jane is now 30. I can reassign this variable age from equaling 25 to age is equal to age plus 5. If I print this, it should give me 30. So we took its current age and added 5. Perfect. This also introduces the plus equal assignment operator. The plus equal assignment operator you've probably seen in other languages is a shorthand operator which lets us express the operation more cleanly, without having to write the name of the variable twice. Basically, what we did here was take the current value and increment by 5. Similarly, we can write age plus equal 5, which once again takes the current value of the age and adds 5, but does it more concisely. If I output the value of this, it indeed increments it by 5. There is a similar operator, the minus equal operator, which, as you guessed it, lets us decrement numbers. So instead of writing age is equal to age minus 5, let's assume for whatever reason Jane is getting younger by 5 years. Instead of writing this out, you can simply write age minus equals 5. And what that will do is decrement our age by 5 every time. What we'll do is actually go ahead and print out the result of the output, and we get 30. That is all for variables. Pretty easy stuff so far. It just takes a little practice to get used to, but the concept should be very straightforward. In the next video, we'll look at numeric data types.